InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, my energetic beings. It is I, once again, Tonya D, holistic Sha'Medium and subtle energy surgeon. Welcome to the daily snippet. It's September 20th, 2021, and we are like cascading to the Pisces full moon. So you kind of want to ask yourself, are you holding space for the new you, changing your story for the new chapter, this evolution? We've been at this crossroads for some time now, but the universe is really calling for the shift, the change, the transformation, whatever that looks like for you. So it's kind of like the end of the old game. The switch is actually turned on for the new. So it's in this recalibration, or what I call upcycling, where life is actually in motion. So, blessings to you as we start, the journey to this Pisces full moon. Our feelings, they're actually becoming real. So it's a time to really hold the vision, hold the tone of being what you want to be. Not only hold this for today, but really you want to cascade it out for the next 3 days as we enter into the season of Libra. Sometimes this actually feels like a really challenging, difficult process. There might be some adversity kind of poking at us. But I always like to say, there's magic on the other side of fear. And I like to challenge my fears. I'm sure that has a lot to do with where Saturn plays out in my chart. Saturn is kind of our fears, but they make us stronger. They give us growth and access to other possibilities. But the elemental energy of today on the 4 pillars, we have this yin metal sheep or a goat, depending on where you are on the planet. I use kind of both narratives, sheep or goat. But you could also have a chicken or a rooster. They're kind of the same frequency too, male, female. But with a Xiin Wei day, there's all this yin energy. Yin is our inner constitution. It's on the day and the year. There's what's called a clash or a push kind of on each other. The goat and the ox, they're at opposing forces on the environment, the elemental place. It's like the southeast or the southwest and the northeast corners of a home, the environment. But they both have this energy of the spleen, but the ox has the stomach and the feet, and the sheep or the goat has the diaphragm, deep breathing, and also our spine, our structure. But these clashes create anxiety, stress, and sometimes pressure. So since this is on the day and the year, we actually might see some pressure from the outer realms or our inner realms. We could feel some anxiety. And the push out energy is sometimes called the 4 graves. And that's when all 4 of the earth branches are online. That would be adding the dragon and the dog there. So it causes something to be pushed out or kicked away. But the strongest element is that metal energy, and the weakest is actually the wood, hidden in the day, and the water hidden in the year. So you really want to bring in the energy of nature to refine that metal energy, kind of like dulling an axe, if you will, and the energy of water to kind of smooth and refine and reconcile the edges of mineral. So it feels like the West and kind of our southern borders, I don't know why that floated in, but the earth has a little bit of moisture in the year below the ox there. It's a little dampness, but still it's pretty dry. It's all dried up, really burning in the day as well, because we really don't have any moisture there. Or a dampness. So, I would really recommend doing full moon offerings to a moving river, a creek, even a stream, if you can find one. Or, I always like the wisdom of an old tree. And just really hold the container for this magical moon and leave what no longer serves the new you actually in the river. It's kind of the birth of the new. It's on its way. So you really have to hold the tone. I really kind of slept most of the day yesterday to prepare for this full moon. So you might yourself have felt less energetic than you normally have in the past, or in the past few days, really. Just know if you're questioning and feeling vulnerable, maybe a little unsafe or exposed, or even if your heart really cares to make the shift happen even, you're not sure. Maybe you feel drained, you're second guessing yourself. So these are common energetic symptoms when you're about to shift in your essence, in your beingness. So you really want to hold the frequency, the tone for this recalibration, maintain a feeling of peace, be confident, control the inner chaos, if you will, and be the calm within the storm. So when I say hold the tone for your intentions and stay on your pathway, holding the tonality in your body, really feel it down to your bones, the future feeling of what you really want to expect next. So it's kind of like these manifestations of whatever your intentions are. They happen faster when you hold the tone. So what does that look like? So if you want more freedom in your life, freedom to be, to live the life that you really want to live, then you want to really feel into freedom. What does that feel like for you? And do a little bit more of that than what you really need, and do a little bit more extra exercise, say, do a little extra cooking, just a little bit more of everything that you need today, because you're calibrating, you're recalibrating and being and feeling more free in your essence. So when you do that, it's like your law of attracting into your feeling, into your circle, that feeling also tomorrow. So you kind of have to hold this frequency in your channel, in your beingness, your body, and tune in, of course, to my Musing Moon meditation. It's still out there. But breathe in the decision to feel the feeling you see, third eye, your life being, like the story, the dream. And hold that feeling safe, like nurture it as if it's a newborn baby, really. So for myself, I'm really identifying and committing to the feeling and the tone in my mind's eye about my attitude on life. It's like mastering my my mind's narrative, really creating and also memorizing that feeling, utilizing the feeling when words might be out of line, or often for me, they're most often kind of profound. I really download most of what comes out of my mouth, or, I keep it to my inside voice. But I'm also holding this emotional tone for committing to my faith and my spiritual corridor. So it's this magical tone that connects out to God universe, out into the galactic core, my guardians, my gatekeepers and whatnot. So it's this feeling that really connects me to the Holy Spirit, my guardian, the gatekeepers, the angelic realm every time. And I actually know this by feeling it into my heart and also seeing and sensing it through vision or my crown as well. So I guess, I'm expressing to hold the feeling that represents the future of what you want to be in your story, your soul's story. You really want to hold it in your bones down to the stones. You could even use the energy of a stone. I have stones everywhere. But you can infuse the energy, use a crystal, rub it. But do that for like at least 3 days or longer, and just hold the stone. And every time you rub it or touch it or think of it, muse about it, you can do it for 3 days or longer out into the threads. But to access the thread and hold it, don't give up or quit, even when you feel lost or, you start questioning the narrative. If your heart isn't into it, you really shouldn't move forward, because your heart has to be online. You have to be heart-centered. And I'm actually going to be talking about energetic boundaries and boundaries in general tomorrow with Tavia on Walk the Talk. Sorry, my phone's going off over here. But if your heart's not in line with something, it's just, all the other feelings are just kind of a test of our value, our self-worth, our self-value, our self-esteem, self-confidence. So, I've been saying for days, probably weeks at least, I'm doing great and you're doing great too. So just, anything that is truly a win-win for all feelings is kind of a message of being on the path, the right path, the correct path. And I know I get excited about all the new and the endless possibilities. I really do. I get overly excited. But it's like taking the action in the role in the stage of life about a purpose that's more collective in the energies, feeling into the realms of spirit, the bigger picture, whatever's activating on a mental stage to create balance, and kind of weighing those options and make sure it supports the choice to really feel golden, like the golden heart. So you really kind of want to focus your heart threads or those heart strings where we expand into this new earth. We're really on an magical, the magical precipice. I'm thinking of like otherworldly magic, and focus on those threads. It's kind of like our emotional awareness is going to kind of peak with a lot of psychic activity today. I know for myself, I also know for my assistant, because I know her threads as well, her signs, and where all the juiciness is. But all these juicy feelings that lead us down a path of feeling juicier or juiciest and abundant are really a sign. They can be intense sometimes. So really just take a breath and take a pause in your heart, your solar plexus, wherever you feel the need, really, and really feel the magical love of this divine source connected energy. And you're going to see it manifest in your reality, and you want to go for the gold, right? So feel the new you cascading out into the future, and the old you, the old branding, it's all gone. We're really upcycling all the things. So fears, sometimes they bubble up from our past. They try to disrupt our new feelings, our frequency, the new being that resides within us, if you will, where the past is really no longer on repeat. It's like we really have received the memo, the gratitude space through our heart. And we've already learned it. We've got the memo. So we already know it. So that's just kind of a shadow of temptation. That's all. It's just a shadow, a little shadow kind of beaconing in the past, the rear view mirror. So just be grateful as you watch your dreams manifest and come true, and really hold the frequency. Set little reminders. That's what I do. In my phone, they pop up all day long. Even on my computer, I am worth it. I'm amazing. I am enough. I am fantastic. I'm doing great. So whatever it is that you really need to hear or see, set your own personal tender timer to go off. I feel great. I'm doing great. Anything that actually lifts your spirit and you can feel it in your voice and your narrative, or when you see it pop up on your phone or your computer or whatever you have, post-it notes work too, sticky notes, doesn't really matter. But our sacral energy, our sacral center is also online. So we've entered the pumpkin season. Create some pumpkin soup, if you will. Eat it, wear it, look at it all day. It's the harvest. Orange, a sunset. I'm even thinking of corn husks. I was up all night with the moon. Let me just tell you. And with little Lilith, Lily of the Valley. She's my black shine little kitty with these lime green magical eyes. She was actually on the roof, and I could hear her crying because she has this wild cry. But I didn't know where she was until I actually looked up, and she was like on the roof. But she wanted me to get her off of the roof. So that was hilarious. So I had to get a stool, get her off the roof. It was just, it was hilarious though, watching this black cat and the moon shining at, I don't know what time, but it was after midnight. That's all I know. But we really want to tone the seed sound of vom. And it's the O as in rule. Really allow that to be the filling thread for the next 3 days and hold that tone. We're going to do like 9 chants of that every day for 3 days, just to really tone in and bring in whatever it is, your dreams for your future world, what that looks like. Not just in our everyday, but the world, the globe as itself. And hold that tone. We have like peace and sexuality online. It's our emotional frequency of the sacral. Sensuality, stuff like that. Now, I want to assist. I don't know why this came up, but, bear with me. So I know I've streamed about animal totems and not on, and also streamed or different essentials, the animal totems. So how do we activate our essential energy centers and connect with our totem animals? So one of the most significant ways to connect with your totem animal is through the earth star or the root center, or a combination. So either in the earth below our feet or at the base of our spine, our Muladhara, our root, this is where we have this healthy connection to our body. We have self-preservation, we have with nature and all the animals in the animal kingdom. So we really want to unblock these energy centers to feel secure and reconnect with the forces of nature. So an easy way to do it is really just by walking barefoot in nature, but also by taking, precautions in nature. I did an offering last summer, and there was a sign that there was a rattlesnake nest below the tree I was doing the offering. So, you have to be aware and take some precautions, right? You don't want your magic, your essence to overcome common sense. And the next center that can assist is our third eye. And when we activate our third eye, it assists us to perceive more than our senses can actually feel. And by doing this, we open the gates to our dream world. And we can also activate our psychic powers and gifts. So I just felt called today to kind of go over how to connect with our energetic centers and also our animal totem or spirit animal. Another center we can utilize is also the crown. It's our connection with the spirit world. And when we go beyond the boundaries of matter and we get in touch with our spiritual protectors, our guardians, our angels and whatnot, ancestor allies, the Wetames, the keepers of the wild, the candomblé, the story of poetry and the joy, the happiness, It's just an easy way to activate through our crown. The easiest way is really by praying to those divine powers, our guardians, even our higher self, because we're already linked with our spirit totem animal. And we really don't have to do anything at all, really. The only thing we really need to do is pray, have a conversation to spirit, to really kind of give us a sign or to manifest through a dream or even in reality in physical real life. So how easily are you going to find your totem animal or which one is yours really depends on your capability to see different signs and of course also how balanced our energetic centers are. But on the other hand, you might already know somehow the spirit animal, who it might be manifesting since, you were a little child. I know my son's has always been the wolves. He's always been drawn to wolves, packs of wolves, It might be a bird that always come to you where you live or dogs that seem to follow you everywhere. For me, cats or dogs or bird. I just have a bunch of little spirit beings or even, even a snake. Say you got bit by a snake as a child and you just remember, what happens when stuff like that happens is they're really just trying to catch your attention. Usually snakes aren't really friendly in real life, right? But, sometimes they are. I have garden snakes that I go have conversations with as well. But what you should know also is that a totem animal is really believed to have followed us through many lifetimes. And if this animal hasn't really succeeded to make itself clear that you're actually connected to it, it kind of might try to attack you either in real life or even through a dream, which is more preferable really is through the dream. But for how I see it through the holistic Sha'Medium aspect of myself is the attack is more considered nothing more than like a poke, a friendly little gesture to get your attention more than likely. So with the magic of this full moon, I actually should have shared this earlier, but I really just received the memo today. Today really is a magical day to connect to your personal animal totem, your Wetame, because we have a full moon and the dreamiest sign of the year. So actually do this today if you can, and also do it tomorrow and maybe the following day. All you need is some milk and some honey. Honey is the sweetness of life. It's the energy of the bees. It's mild and it's really believed to connect with source and more. I usually use goat's milk myself lately, but you can do this at your home. You can do it in nature. Just make sure if you go out in nature, you want to pick a safe place. Don't go where a rattlesnake's nest is or a pack of wolves might live. That's really their home. Nature is their home. And magic, in essence and intention, shouldn't really replace common sense. However, sometimes I wonder if common sense has left the planet. But you can do this at home just by visualizing it. Or you can just visualize yourself going into the woods. You want to walk over and leave an offering of milk and an offering of honey. I prefer a tree, sometimes a river. Do what you feel called to do. Just make sure that if you use a cup or something, that it's eco-friendly. It dissolves. We really don't want to leave any trash. And if you decide to do this in nature, you want to find a safe spot, somewhere where you can take a few minutes, remove your shoes. It's better to do this alone. It's kind of a solitary, kind of solitude-like ritual. So you can really connect with your totem animal, just you and you only. So just really kind of focus and balance your breathing, and just drop the milk and the honey right there below your feet at the base of a tree. You know, sometimes I'll create like a symbol of symbolisms of maybe a fire within the earth or water, circles. I usually just create space in nature. I don't use any cups or anything other than to kind of transport it really in my car, because we don't want to leave any waste in nature. But milk and honey are the perfect offering to nature. It's kind of like a gift to nature spirits and also the animals. You can actually put them in front of you, meditate, you know, take some breath, close your eyes, and just chant the sound of the day 9 times, that boom, and sit there in your space. And after you feel like you've chanted it the 9 times and you feel ready to really open your eyes, I would say an invocation or a prayer, if you will, you know, where like something like, with love, peace, gratitude, and joy, with the milk and the honey, like, I summon thee, I call upon thee, my spirit friend, my totem animal, my wedame, my ally, whatever words kind of resonate for you. And just like you're speaking for it to come forth and appear to you. So you would say, come forth and appear to me. I want to meet you. I want to greet you. I want to see your magical face, the being, right? So, you know, you might feel it. You might hear it. It might appear in spirit form or in actual flesh. That's how Sir Didymus showed up for me. He's one of my spirit animals. Of course he is. He's a fairy dog, if you will, a fire spirit being. He loves the fire, you know. And even, you know, if that doesn't happen for you, just look for signs over the next few days, signs in your dreams or in your everyday reality. And you want to take time, maybe take some notes. And your spirit animal will actually appear when you're ready to handle the information. Healing is the same way. We're not ready to see different things until the universe kind of opens that doorway. So there's not really a right or wrong way. But they're here. These beings are here to really assist and guide us from like now and also out into the future. They're always with us from timelines to timelines. Sometimes they bring extra friends and whatnot. But the card of the day, I went with my Deviant Moon deck, and I also went with my Shaman Oracle deck. So to be honest, I was late because I couldn't get my camera to take pictures, so I had to get online and find them. It was a situation, it kind of was interesting, but mini pass. I've pulled this card before, I know I have, but it's calling us to be bold and big and step and leave, you know, leave the beaten path, go off on an adventure. And I also pulled that Journeyman card again too. So it really is about the new and shedding the old and going out. Take a journey where we've never gone before. You don't want to sit around or make lack of energy for it, because we're going to miss the moment. The moment is now. And it's really time to sail into uncharted territories, if you will. Kind of going nomadic, I feel like, in a way. So be sure to like attend to both the path through the earth plane as well as the path through the stars, the gates, right? So we really have kind of outgrown this current situation, right? And we kind of risk losing our path, our way in our own backyard, our own village. So we're being called to really step out of our comfort zone, to kind of step out of our skin and kind of step back into our skin. It's really a time to kind of respond while we're still getting the gentle whisper, the gentle stroke, the feelings. Even, you know, even if your woods look like they're kind of thick, the forest is overgrown, you know, the forest through the trees, it's really time to venture in and allow nature to really guide us through the darkness until we really reach our destination, our destiny. And just remember, if you don't know where you're going, really any path will take you there. It's just the adventure in front of you, because every path leads to spirit. And what you bring to your journey is what's actually going to determine if your path is a path of suffering, a path of wisdom, a path of love or bliss, or even of loss. So really, you really want to pick the path with your heart space. And I look at my thing here, I picked the death card, which I know death always seems tragic, but death isn't always physical death. It's kind of like the ending of something, usually a recalibration, which you're here, So we really are on a pathway for change. It's like this inevitable kind of change. It was reversed. I couldn't flip this around. I guess I could have, but I'm not that talented yet. Keyword. It's a suggestion that we might cut a cord, is what I'm seeing, like literally an energetic cord. So it's this time for closure at the end. It's not quite here yet, but it's coming. So we're kind of filling into the temptation and the threads. So you kind of want to be patient with what's happening around you without resigning to any negative outcome. The coming chances, or the chances are, it might alter the way you feel about the status quo. And just remember too, that this is the harvest. The harvest doesn't start until the food is actually ripe. You want to be more wiser, be more mellow, be more sweeter like the honey, be more nourishing like the milk, because your time to release, it might happen sooner than you think. But again, the death card isn't really about literal death. It's like the death of something else. It could be a project, a plan, a relationship. But it also points us to the time of the harvest, that's what we're in right now. So it's like we're the fruits of summer, they've harvested. The winters, get lost in all the harshness. And I feel like winter's coming sooner than we think, So if we don't do the harvest, if we don't plan for the harvest, I should say, people don't eat, right? So we're at this harvesting. And a lot of times in the devil card, or the death card, excuse me, it's the scythe, it's the cutting of the cord that links us to our past, but it also liberates us to go forward without fear, because we have nothing left really to lose. So everything is kind of being pruned away, if you will, reshaped, if you will, recycling for the fertility of the future, the growth, the new birth. So that has, nothing really is ever lost. If anything, things are gained. Even if, we have these seasonal cycles of gaining, and we also have the season of loss. It's like the ebb and the flow. So it really is a day to make a dream come true kind of change, literally flipping the switch and elevating the patterns and the pathways to the good and the gooder, the juicier, the better, and really stay in this positive mindset and feelings, the feelings of having more positivity, the nurturing kind of feelings that are nurturing to your soul and your spirit and your heart space, and hold space, hold time and space, and view life as if it's already abundant for you in your being, in your essence. Like you have enough, you are enough. And just be confident that the path the moon takes you on will be the path of success, and also one where you're valued and you have self-worth. I think valuing yourself first is a great thing to do, so you can value and attract people who value themselves outside of you. So with all of that, InShalla, Ashe, thanks for tuning in. And as always, I will see you on the other side. Full moon blessings, everyone. I'm super excited.